Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So I am going to be giving you some news on Alexis Sanchez, also going to be giving you the latest news on Jack Grealish, what Andy Gray has come out and said regarding Grealish, and not only Grealish, also to Paul Pogba. Andy Gray has actually said that Manchester United should sign Jack Grealish in the summer and sell Paul Pogba. And there's lots of other things to talk about, but I'll delve into the Grealish topic a bit later on in the video. So we will start with Alexis Sanchez. So I was reading reports recently, and it does say that West Ham United have expressed their interest in Alexis Sanchez, and that is stemming from the Italian press. Now, West Ham have reportedly had negotiations with Alexis Sanchez's agent. Now, obviously, I'm very, very sceptical that Sanchez will come back to Manchester United after his loan spell with Inter Milan. Now, Solskjaer did actually, say back in January, that Sanchez would come back to Manchester United to prove everybody wrong. But I don't think it's going to happen. Now, Inter Milan, I don't think are going to get Sanchez on a permanent transfer because he's endured a very, very difficult time with Inter Milan since he joined them on loan last summer. Sanchez, I think, has only made 2 starts for Inter Milan because he has been out with an ankle injury. Despite the fact that Alexis Sanchez is on loan at Inter Milan, Manchester United are still paying the vast majority of his wages. I think we're still paying him like £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan are paying like the other £100,000. But of course, when Sanchez was at Manchester United, his wages were really having a bad effect on the club because I think he was on like £400,000 a week. Sanchez did endure a difficult 18 months at Manchester United. Don't forget, we got him back in January 2018, which is over 2 years ago now. We got him as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal. And Sanchez didn't exceed expectations at Manchester United as we all thought he would have done, because Alexis Sanchez, of course, did enjoy a good 3.5-4 years with Arsenal. I think Sanchez did score around 80 goals and provided around 45 assists in 166 games for Arsenal. He also, played at Barcelona when he was younger under Pep Guardiola's guidance. But when we signed Sanchez, we thought he would have been an exceptional signing. Sanchez, made 45 appearances for Man United in all competitions, but only managed 5 goals. He has still got a contract with the football club until 2022 as Alexis Sanchez, but I thought it would have been an exceptional signing for us. So we are looking to get rid of him on a permanent transfer to free up our wage bill completely. And he's Sanchez now, what is he, 30 or 31 years of age? So he is aging up. But yeah, so reportedly, West Ham have expressed their interest in the player. So that is the latest news on Alexis Sanchez. I just wanted to give you an update on. So now we'll delve into the news on Jack Grealish. So I'll reiterate what I've just said. Andy Gray, who's a former Aston Villa forward, he's come out and urged Manchester United to sign Jack Grealish and sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. Now, Andy Gray's give his verdict on it, and he believes he would represent a good bargain at £70 million, because Jack Grealish will cost us around £70 million if Aston Villa are to avoid relegation. Now, he's also said our move for Jack Grealish is a no-brainer, reflecting on the circumstances with Paul Pogba, because I think Paul Pogba is set to leave Manchester United in the summer, and obviously, we are looking for an adequate replacement for him. Now, I think Jack Grealish is one of our number 1 priority targets for the summer transfer window. Obviously, don't forget, recent reports did say that actually, Manchester United could miss out on Jack Grealish in the summer. The main explanation for this is reflecting on, that incident with his £80,000 Range Rover. Don't forget, he did crash his Range Rover into 2 or 3 parked cars. That incident happened just hours before he advised people to stay at home, Jack Grealish. And actually, he got fined around £150,000. He also came out and publicly apologised, for the incident, because he feels embarrassed about the incident was Jack Grealish, but the police did investigate it. But, you know, I'm not going to fully disregard it because I do believe Jack Grealish to Manchester United in the summer is definitely on. But he's a very, very good player, he's Jack Grealish, and he's become an integral part of Aston Villa's team, and I think he's definitely flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. You know, he was key to Villa progressing to the Carabao Cup final this season. He was also key to Villa getting promotion to the Premier League, and he spent the vast majority of his career with Aston Villa. You know, I think he's been a Villa player since the age of 6, and he's been in their senior squad since 2014, and he's got around 3 years remaining on his contract with Aston Villa because he's under contract with Villa until 2023. I think he did actually have a loan spell with Notts County. A few other clubs have expressed their interest in him. I think the other week there was narratives coming out of the mainstream media saying that Liverpool had been interested. Revert back to the summer of 2018, Tottenham were very, very close to getting him. Tottenham did put, I think, an offer in of around £25 million for the player. But Jack Grealish now does believe, from his own perception is far too good for Aston Villa, and he wants to leave to rejuvenate his career. Even Emil Heskey came out the other week, and he believes that Jack Grealish, would be a great addition to our squad if he was to come in, and he does believe he will leave Aston Villa. Jack Grealish is only the age of 24. He's predominantly an attacking midfielder. Occasionally he can play him as a winner, and I don't think he's got a buyout clause inserted, by the way. So if Villa get relegated, then I think we could possibly get Jack Grealish on the cheap. Maybe we could get him for maybe around 30, 40, maybe £50 million, but it will be around £70 million if Villa do avoid relegation. Villa's only chances of convincing him to stay is to avoid relegation, but on the other hand, I don't even think that'd be enough to convince Jack Grealish to stay. But Andy Gray does believe that Jack Grealish will move to a top 6 club, definitely in that. So yeah, so that's basically the latest news on Jack Grealish. But what we're planning to do is, we're planning to sell Paul Pogba, generate the money for his departure, then put that money on Jack Grealish or maybe Saul Niguez, because he's been another player on our agenda who could replace Paul Pogba. But the difference is, Saul Niguez is going to cost us almost double than Jack Grealish because, Atletico Madrid have said they want around £130 million for him. So Paul Pogba, like I said, there is still uncertainty over his future at the moment. it hasn't been fully assured that Pogba is going to be leaving the football club in the summer, because I was still reading recent reports and it still said, Pogba could still remain at Manchester United at least for another year. And since Paul Pogba, rejoined Manchester United from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga, and we basically, just need to resolve his future. Now, I do believe Paul Pogba's got the same perception now as what I had last summer, because don't forget he came out and revealed last summer that he wants to leave Manchester United because he said he was seeking for a new challenge, and he actually publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. Now, Paul Pogba's preference last summer was a move to Real Madrid, but we wanted £180 million for Pogba last summer, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. We was demanding just over double than what we paid for him from Juventus back in 2016, because we paid £89 million for him from Juventus. Now, we have quoted out that we want around £100 million for Pogba this summer, so the figure that we want this summer is totally comparison to the one that we wanted last summer. But it's very imperative that we do generate more money than what we actually paid for the player. And obviously, there has been talks of swap deals. There is swap deals on the agenda. There's obviously been talks of Aaron Ramsey coming to Manchester United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus. There's also been talks of De Ligt coming to United as part of a swap deal of Pogba going back to Juventus and that. So Pogba, could go as part of a swap deal. Maybe he won't. Maybe he'll go, without any swap deal being involved. But he said the other week we was confident we can keep Paul Pogba, because we are sceptical that, Real Madrid or Juventus can finalise a deal for him. And like I mentioned, a lot of clubs are set to lose millions in transfer revenues, due to this coronavirus and stuff like that. So, this coronavirus pandemic, could change a hell of a lot of things. But yeah, Paul Pogba, I think, is definitely worth over £100 million. Pogba's got, 2 years left on his contract at Manchester United. 1 year with an option of a further year. I probably do believe that Man United will trigger that 1 year extension on his contract. Revert back to quite a few weeks ago now. Solskjaer did say in his press conference, this was in Austria, when we played last, he said, that Paul Pogba will remain at Man United next season. So he was basically reiterating what Pogba had said before that, because Pogba had said he was interested in staying at Man United and he was interested in extending his contract. The main explanation for this is because he believes he can form a good partnership with Bruno Fernandes, and Pogba is aware of the impact that Bruno Fernandes has made at the football club. And I think, Paul Pogba would go well alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. Now, as I said, Pogba, is on like £300,000 a week at Manchester United. So he's not only our most expensive signing, he's one of the highest paid players at the football club. Now, Ed Woodward's basically, trying to get his future resolved because he's had negotiations with Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola. Obviously, to resolve his future and, to stop Mini Raiola making public attacks against the club, because since the turn of the year, Mini Raiola's made a number of public attacks against the football club, and Man United, have been very, very critical of him. But Mini Raiola, at least in the last couple of years, has been working on getting his client a transfer away from Manchester United completed and that. But if he does leave Man United in the summer, I think he'll go to Real Madrid, or don't go to Real Madrid, he'll go to Juventus. He did say recently, though, that his priority is to join Real Madrid in the summer transfer window. But Pogba, did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he came back to Manchester United, and analysing the vast majority of his performances at Man United since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin. I think we mainly saw the best of Paul Pogba in that 3-month period when Solskjaer was the interim manager. But, Pogba, has only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last time he played was Boxing Day, and the last time he started from the start was back in September. You've also had Graham Souness coming out giving his verdict on Pogba, and he believes that, Pogba, doesn't want to be at Manchester United. I think in total for the football club since he rejoined, he's made 140 odd appearances and scored 31 goals. Pogba did enjoy a very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era because they had a bad relationship. And obviously, don't forget we had Pogba when he was younger under the Alex Ferguson era. But due to limited appearances, Manchester United let him go on a 3 transfer. Pogba is 27 years of age, so he has still got a lot of development in him. But if we sign Jack Grealish and that, Manchester United don't really need Paul Pogba, because, we need a midfielder in the summer, but a lot of our midfielders have really, really improved. Like I said, Fred, Man United paid £50 million for him from Shakhtar Donetsk. Got to be honest with you, was exceptional in Ukraine, but never really got the opportunities under the Jose Mourinho era, when we had Mourinho. And he's been criticised before as Fred, but I've got to say, Fred's been given his opportunities under Solskjaer. He's relished on his opportunities and he's done really, really well. So you've got to give Fred a lot of credit. Very, very mobile as well. Also, too, Matic has done really, really well. We triggered that 1-year extension on his contract the other week, but he deserved to get that 1-year extension on his contract in Matic. Reflects on his good run of performances recently. And actually, Matic is a backup to Fred and McTominay, but he's still done really, really well. And Matic is now into his 3rd season at the football club. But yeah, so we know he's going to be staying at Manchester United. And we did pay £40 million for him from Chelsea, like I mentioned. McTominay's done really, really well this season. He's done well since he's come back from injury. So even when Paul Pogba does get back playing, because I think he's expected to play, when the season does eventually resume, he won't be guaranteed to play regularly, will Paul Pogba, because there's no main explanation why I would want to drop Fred, McTominay and Matic, of how well they've done, So that's what I'm trying to say to you. Obviously, Bruno Fernandes is definitely, making a difference in the team. Bruno Fernandes has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Manchester United career. He has 3 goals and 3 assists so far, does Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes is a player that can create chances. He can score goals. And so far, Bruno Fernandes is replicating what he did in his 2.5 years at Sporting Lisbon. But he's the best player we've recruited in since the Alex Ferguson era. And we've recruited over 30 odd players in since the Ferguson era. don't forget Bruno Fernandes won Premier League Player of the Month for February. And, with Bruno Fernandes and Pogba in the same team, you'd probably see Paul Pogba in the number 8, and obviously, you'd see Bruno Fernandes in the advanced role in the number 10. But yeah, so he's done very, very well for us. But, us selling Paul Pogba, it definitely, it totally free up our wage bill completely. Same thing, with Sanchez. We got rid of him permanently. It'd free up our wage bill completely. And plus, it would help us with our rebuilding process. So, yeah. So, should Man United sign Jack Grealish in the summer transfer window? Obviously, James Maddison's been another midfielder on our agenda. We've been told to prioritise, Grealish over Maddison. Maddison's an alternative in case we miss out on Jack Grealish. I'm sceptical that we'll sign James Maddison in the summer anyway, because I think he'll end up remaining loyal with Leicester, because, I think he'll end up signing a new, contract with Leicester, because Brendan Rodgers did insist that James Maddison is happy with Leicester, and he also said that contract negotiations have been going on for quite some time. Maddison has got around 3 years left on his contract with Leicester. He fueled a bit of speculation up, didn't he, Maddison, because he recently came out and said that mentioned, the best players, that he's ever played with, and that's Rashford and Harry Maguire, that are 2 Man United players. And also he did say Jadon Sancho is, one of the best players he's ever played with. But Maddison's a good midfielder, like I mentioned, predominantly an attacking mid. He's now in his 2nd season with Leicester. I think he's made 70 appearances in all competitions. He's replicating what he did in his 1st season, because don't forget, last season James Maddison created more chances than any other player in the Premier League. Leicester did pay around £20 million for him from Norwich in the summer of 2018, and he had a good couple of years in the Championship with Norwich. But, to convince Leicester to offload Maddison, he'd probably cost in the 70 odd or maybe even 80 odd million pound range. So it probably cost a similar sort of amount to how much Jack Grealish would cost, because Leicester have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years, and they wouldn't want to lose James Maddison. But there's more chance, in my opinion, of us getting Grealish than Maddison. But yeah, there has been quite a few midfielders on our agenda, because, Solskjaer has come out and identified, the 2 areas where he thinks, 2 or 3 areas where he thinks Man United need to strengthen up. We definitely need a centre forward. We also need a right winger, and we also are in search for a midfielder. And he also wants to recommend a centre half in, does Solskjaer, don't forget. Even though we've got a lot of centre halves in the team, you've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first choice centre halves. You've got Bay and Tuanzebe that are our backups. You've also got Foster Mentu that can operate as a centre half, but he's possibly one of the players that could go in the summer. You've got Jones. He's another one of the players that could go in the summer, because Jones doesn't even get in the team now. And Luke Shaw a couple of times this season has played as a centre half when we have gone with 3 at the back. But even though Luke Shaw is actually predominantly a left back, so we are in search for a centre half. Obviously, like I said, the latest on our agenda, he's a centre half. Koulibaly's been on our agenda, he's a centre half, and that. So, we will see what happens. But Solskjaer's revealed that Man United need around 3, maybe 4 signings in the summer to become title contenders next season. But we've got to get the right calibre players in that can elevate Manchester United forward, because Solskjaer is looking to buy into our history. But, like I said, I've got to give him a lot of credit so far, because obviously, Solskjaer's been at Manchester United now for 15 months, so he has been here over a year, and he's been permanent Manchester United manager for a year. Yeah, 12 months he's been permanent Manchester United manager, and it has been up and down in this 15-month period he has been here. Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at Manchester United, and he has spent in the excess of £220 million. He's brought 5 players in, and if Solskjaer is still Manchester United manager in the summer, it will be his 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. And I think more than likely, Solskjaer will be Manchester United manager next season. I think, the only way Solskjaer, could be axed at the end of the season is if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League. If Solskjaer was to be sacked as Man United manager, then possibly our next manager would either be Mauricio Pochettino, possibly Massimiliano Allegri, because Pochettino has been relentlessly linked with a managerial role at Manchester United. Also, too, since Solskjaer's come in, he has got rid of a lot of players. Around 9 players have left in total since his arrival. Obviously, we saw Ashley Young leave this year. He went to Inter Milan after he enjoyed 8.5 years at Man United. Obviously, we saw Marcus Rojo go out on loan to Estudiantes. We'll negotiate on getting rid of him on a permanent transfer, should presume. By the way, he can play as a centre-half. Also, too, we got rid of Chris Smalling last summer. I'm very sceptical that he'll come back to Man United. If Roma don't fail to qualify for the Champions League, though he may not stay at Roma. Smalling could come back to the Premier League, but I don't think he'll come back to Man United. But Smalling did enjoy 9 years at the club. Very long-serving player he was. Darmian left last summer. Herrera left last summer. He went to PSG on a free transfer after he enjoyed 5 years at Man United. Fellaini left back in January 2019. Marion Fellaini left. He was the first player to depart under the Solskjaer era. We got rid of Fellaini before Solskjaer got the job permanently. Also, too, like I said, we got rid of Sanchez, we got rid of Romelu Lukaku, and we're actually looking for an adequate replacement for Lukaku. And we also, got rid of Valencia last summer, don't forget, after he enjoyed 10 years at Man United. And also, too, we've got Dean Henderson out on loan at Sheffield United. But Dean Henderson is expected to come back to the football club after his loan spell with Sheffield United. But even if Dean Henderson does come back, David De Gea could still remain our number one goalkeeper. Then maybe Dean Henderson wouldn't want to remain at Manchester United, to be quite honest with you. He's got rid of a lot of the deadwood, and I think Solskjaer's planning on getting rid of around 6 or 7 players in the summer, and we should generate some money for their departures. But, Solskjaer's revealed his transfer strategy, and his transfer strategy is to continue the policy of recruiting young players to Manchester United, because I think we've had the youngest squad in the Premier League this season. But, that's another thing I credit Solskjaer for, because he has given the young players their opportunities this season. The likes of Greenwood, he's done really, really well. He seldom started in the Premier League, but he tends to start more in the cup games and that. But I think in next year or so, he'll emulate to Rashford's level, or probably will end up overtaking Marcus Rashford or Greenwood. Greenwood, has got like 12 or 13 goals in all competitions this season. Brandon Williams, he's been, given his chances, which is good. This is his first season in the senior squad. Reflecting on the emergence of Brandon Williams, by the way, Solskjaer has pulled the plug on getting a left back in. Brandon Williams is still inexperienced, but we have got Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's highly experienced, and since Luke Shaw's come back from injury, he has done very, very well at left back. Tuanzebe, he did well earlier on in the season. He's been injured, don't forget Tuanzebe. Also to Diego Dalot. Don't really have a perception on Dalot because he hasn't played much this season due to the injuries he's had. Towards the back end of last season, he was playing on the right wing quite a few times, because he can play as a right winger, but he's predominantly a right back. But last season, Young was our first choice right back, but obviously Wan-Bissaka is our first choice right back now, and Dalot's a backup to Wan-Bissaka. Also to James Garner, I think we've said, he needs to be given more opportunities next season, does James Garner. Also to Chong, we know now he's staying at the football club because he signed a 2-year contract the other week with an option of a further year. Chong's appearances have been limited, but I do expect him to get more chances. Angel Gomes, he's seldom played this season under Solskjaer. Don't forget, Angel Gomes recently revealed that he wants to stay at Manchester United. He wants to stay at Manchester United and he wants to win silverware with the club. Don't forget, we recently just offered Angel Gomes a new contract worth around £30,000 a week, because he's got around, a couple of months left on his current contract. Gomez has only made 10 first-team appearances for the club, and 6 of those appearances have come this season. But if he commits his future to the club and he signs a new contract, then I do believe he should be given more opportunities. But it's good that Solskjaer has got a lot of trustworthy in his young players. But that's very, very good to see. But when he first came in anywhere, Solskjaer, he did say that all, the players will get their chances to express themselves. But I think the players that are on the way out of the club, I definitely think Jones is going, like I mentioned. Lingard will be on his way out. Pereira will be on his way out because, they're definitely, 2 liabilities. De Gea will probably stay. Sanchez will, like I said, we'll get rid of him on a permanent transfer. We'll also get rid of Rojo on a permanent transfer. Yeah, so we'll get rid of around maybe 6 or 7 players in the summer transfer window and that. But, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. This is our best vein of form since Solskjaer was the interim manager. And the main explanation why Solskjaer got the job permanently is reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. And like I said, our record against the Big Six sides this season's been very, very good because we've registered 17 points against the Big Six sides this season. So Solskjaer's approach to the big games have been very, very good. I think, when the season does eventually resume, Solskjaer should stick with 3 at the back because from my own perception, we'll look more expansive with 3 at the back. But on a regular basis this season, Solskjaer's been going with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But from my own perception, doesn't really seem to suit our standards. So there's a lot of positives you can take from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's tenure in that. I'll take into account, since he got the job permanently, his record has been disastrous. And, we haven't done great against lower opposition. One of the worst defeats we've had under the Solskjaer era was the 4-0 defeat to Everton last season. Also, there's another positive, since Solskjaer came in, because we have actually not extended a lot of players' contracts, so that's also another positive. So, yeah, and, there's still players, I would be determined to keep at Manchester United. There's a lot of players I would be determined to keep. Definitely keep Rashford, because I think Rashford is a long-term future for the club, and he's only young, Rashford, and Rashford's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been in our senior squad since 2016 as Rashford, and he's had some bad spells as a Man United player, but I thought earlier on in the season he was exceptional before he got his back injury. I think Solskjaer does prefer Rashford out on the left, to be quite honest with you. I think Martial's the long-term future for Man United, but there again, there was reports saying, is his future in doubt? Does he face a fight keeping his place in the team? Martial, of course, has been operating in that number 9 role this season, even though he predominantly plays out wide on the left. I don't know what's going to happen. Is Martial going to stay in the number 9, or is he going to get put back on the left? Definitely keep the signings that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's recommended in, because they've all done really, really well, like I mentioned, especially Odi Nagalo. It's looking likely, Odi Nagalo is going to be our 5th permanent signing under Solskjaer, because it's looking like we're going to get him on a permanent transfer in the summer, Odi Nagalo, and it's going to cost Manchester United around 15 million to get Odi Nagalo on a permanent transfer. Because as it stands at the moment, we've got him on loan and we're paying like a third of his wages. But Odi Nagalo did reveal anyway that he wants to stay at the football club. But I think Nagalo is a good cover-up to Rashford anyway. Definitely keep Fred at the club. Definitely keep McTominay, because they've complemented each other well in our midfield. I'd keep Luke Shaw. I'd keep Lindelof, because he's done well alongside Harry Maguire. I'd keep him. Definitely keep Wan-Bissaka. So, yeah, there's so many players, I would be determined to keep at Manchester United. But yeah, I give you the news, didn't I, in my previous video regarding Jadon Sancho. He's our number 1 priority target for the summer, and I'm still convinced that Manchester United can get a deal over the line for Sancho. He's going to cost us around 100 to 120 million. It did actually say if Manchester United fail to qualify for the Champions League, then Sancho will reject to move to Manchester United. So it's very imperative that we get Champions League qualification. A few clubs have been in for Sancho, but he's expected to leave Borussia Dortmund at the end of the season. And the beneficial thing about Sancho coming in as well, like I mentioned, he's got a great friendship with Rashford. Rashford did reveal that, he wants Sancho at Man United next season. And Sancho coming back to the Premier League is very beneficial for his career anyway. Us paying 120 million, would make him our most expensive signing and a record signing in the Premier League. And, Man United are willing to offer him 400 grand a week. We've been working on his contract. We've been in negotiations with his agent for around 2 months now. But, Sancho's been subject to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. And I think he'd operate very, very well in our number 7, because Man United are willing to offer him the iconic number 7 shirt. And he'd do very, very well, to be quite honest with you. But the Irish Independent said last week that it's unofficially confirmed that Sancho will come to Man United in the summer. Some pundits out there believe that Man United or Chelsea are very, very unlikely, to pay £100 million for Jadon Sancho. So I think he possibly, could be our first signing in the summer. and our 6th signing overall under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. There's definitely more chance of Sancho than Harry Kane. Kane at Man United, for me, he's dead in the water. I don't think it's going to happen. I think he will leave Tottenham, but he'll either go to Madrid or Juventus probably. Can't see him coming to Manchester United because we won't pay £150 million for Harry Kane because he's cheaper solutions out there than Harry Kane. So just put that into the equation. But yeah, so Solskjaer does deserve more time at the football club. You know, like I said, it takes some managers time to settle in. Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years. Klopp didn't settle in straight away at Liverpool. So he does deserve more time. You know, we've had different managers with different philosophies and we've been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years. You know, a hell of a lot of money's been invested into the club. I think we've spent around £1 billion or nearly £1 billion on players in the last 6 or 7 years or so. So a lot of money's been spent at the football club, and I think we've got the highest wage bill in the Premier League. Yes, we haven't that. But, you know, like I said, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers persistently because it's not always the right solution. You know, we've had problems with the Ed Woodward this season. You know, we've had doubts about the club's ownership, the Glazers, etc., etc. So there's been various issues at the club this season. But recently, you know, we look much better and a lot of aspects of our game have really, really improved. The season is going to resume, like I said, when it's safe. When it's safe to do so, that's when the season is going to resume. You know, the Premier League had a meeting recently to establish plans for the remainder of the season, and it's going to resume when it is safe to do so. So they haven't given an exact date or month when it's going to resume. Obviously, you know, like I said, the Premier League face a financial penalty of 762 million if the season does not resume. It also said, you know, Premier League players have been told that top flight clubs face losing around 1.137 billion. This is what it actually said. Because of the coronavirus pandemic. So, like I said, it's bad this, you know, because a lot of clubs across the world are under financial pressure. Teams are set to lose millions in transfer revenues due to this coronavirus pandemic and that. And, you know, players are also refusing to take 30% wage cuts. That's also something else I want to mention. So, yeah. So, anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. And I'll see you all again very, very soon.